Hey everyone, and welcome. I'm so excited to be kicking off this brand
Hey
new.
Tim, I'm good.
So we have this new Snapback collaboration between Snappic and the amazing team at Photo Booth Marketing. So basically, what is the Snapback? Well, each month we'll be releasing a free marketing asset pack created by Photo Booth Marketing, plus exclusive training sessions to help you actually use these assets in your business. The goal is simple: to give you the tools, the templates, and the training you need to grow your business, upsell your clients, and create truly unforgettable photo booth experiences. Now, tonight's session is completely free to all Snappic users. We are diving into how to create trading cards using Snappic, and I'm sure you guys are going to love it. But just a quick heads up, going forward, the Snapback training and asset packs will only be available to Enterprise and Enterprise Plus users who are on monthly or yearly plans. So if you love what you see tonight and you want to keep accessing this kind of content each month, make sure you're on the right plan to stay in the loop. And that's not all. We're also launching something really exciting very soon: the Snappic Community Portal. This will be an exclusive space for all Snappic users who are on Pro, Enterprise, or Enterprise Plus plans, as long as you're on a monthly or yearly subscription. So none for the event users. Inside the portal, you will find free monthly asset drops, Snappic training courses, marketing training from industry pros, and a chat space full of and a full resource library, and so much more. You can access it right from your Snappic dashboard. Just look for the community tab, and we'll share more details about that next week as well. So stay tuned. All right, that is it from me. I will hand you guys over to Ursula and George, who is taking us through tonight's Snap Packed session. And I'm sure and confident you guys are going to love it. So please do take it away.
Thank you, Danielle. George, would you like to share our presentation?
I'll share my screen.
Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We are very excited about this new partnership with Snappic. We have worked collectively as a team to put together tonight's training and the assets for trading cards to use in your Snappic account. We are going to kick off the training tonight with George doing some tech training first and foremost, and then I'm going to do a little bit of sales and marketing training. For anyone who is on the call who does not know us, my name is Ursula. I am the co-founder of Photo Booth Marketing. I will be joined by George, who is the technical director for Photo Booth Marketing and knows everything and anything you need to know about software, how to use it, how to break it, how to fix it. We have been helping owners to grow their photo booth businesses since 2018 through Photo Booth Marketing. We won't do too much more on that, but if you have any questions for myself or the team, please drop them in the chat. We will run through the presentation and we'll take questions at the end of each section. So George shall give the tech training first of all, and then we will do a Q&A. I will then give some sales and marketing training and we'll do a Q&A. And enjoy.
Perfect. Thank you, Ursula, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Today, I'll start with a technical training for trading cards. So today we are going over 5 different experiences for different sports. So the first one is football, soccer, basketball, baseball, and hockey. Not only you will get access to 5 different unique experiences, but each of them is breakdown into 2 different sections. So one is the AI, another one is photo experience. So all in all, you will get 10 different unique outputs. Let me start with a pre-made templates. For those who are part of Photo Booth Marketing, you're familiar with the pre-made templates that comes with the start screens, overlays, everything is built in. And today we are going to share these presets with you guys. In terms of the presets, these are 5 different examples for the AI outputs, and then here are 5 different examples for the photo example. So as you can see on this example, we are replacing the backgrounds behind the people, and the other ones is by using Snappic AI technology. In terms of accessing these events, we are using feature for importing these templates by using event codes. The event codes are going to be available inside the community in a free section, and Snappic team will let you know next week where you can find those assets and the event codes. But the easiest way for you to import these templates into account is by copy the event code and going to dashboard. I'm going to show you now how it's done. So this is just an example of just a random event I've created. It's an empty template, but when you go to your main dashboard, go into the create event section, and down here there's a new field called create event from code. So when you paste the code into the section, then it will take a few seconds for Snappic to transfer all the assets from our account to your account, and then your trading card presets will appear on your account. So this is the easiest way for us to create something, and you can use it without need of building something from scratch. Once you have access to these assets, then you can customize them yourself. So I will go over the section of the survey feature. So thanks to the Snappic latest survey feature, now we are able to customize these templates, and we can let the guest to choose certain fields. So this personalization is done by using survey feature. When you go, when you access one of those presets, so for this training, I'll use, for example, the hockey one. When you scroll down to survey feature, you can see on this template, we have a new field down here where we're saying preview the survey feature before you start a session. That way we can ask guests for certain things. For this specific presets and for all the 5 different experiences, we are asking for 3 things. So one of them is a full name, another one is nickname or signature, and third option is the favorite number. So that way, these 3 fields are going to be fully customizable and unique for every single guest. They're usually trade-off between how many questions you can ask your guests and between time, how much they're actually spending in front of a booth. So you're more than welcome to add more, and you can also customize those survey fields yourself. But I would recommend to keep it somewhere between 1 or 3 questions, since if you have more fields, it will take a lot longer for people to fill them up. And then in terms of the queuing system, it will take a lot longer to finish the experience. When there's a link between the survey feature and the photo templates. So if I go on the new tab, I'll show you side by side. When I go to templates, this is also applicable for taking photos as well as the AI outputs. And when you go into edit section, inside this builder, you have a few fields. So we can see the nickname, favorite number, full name, and full name are the survey feature. The reason why you know this, or the way you can recognize is by this blue highlight around the text. So these are the fields where the guest can enter into the iPad, and they'll be unique for every single guest. Anything else on this layer is fully editable text that you can edit and make them customizable for your event. So this actually removes need for using Photoshop or Canva templates. Everything is pre-built. You can use it as it is. And that way, even if you want to customize a few text, or if you want to add something like a logo, you can do it directly inside the Snappic. Next thing, if you want to customize this, well, let's say with your client's logo, if you can go to add image, and then if I choose one of the random logos, I can just place it anywhere I want. I can shift the text, and you can customize it the way you want it. And that way, when you're happy with those changes, you will hit save. And now, not only it's fully personalized for every guest, but also it's personalized for your client as well. So that way you can do all the changes and everything that's needed inside the Snappic. I'll just exit this feature and I'll show you one of the live events. So this is example for baseball trading experience. So when you fill this field, guests will have option between taking a photo or AI. So for this one, I'll just use AI. And then we have created presets and make them as compatible and as useful as possible. So having two different genders will ensure the quality of the output. So when there's male, you choose male. When there's a female in front of both, you choose a female. And then when you hit next, person will take a photo. And there are options for filters. You can enable or disable those filters. So I'll just keep it basic and I'll just tap my email for now. We'll wait a couple of minutes to let Snappic to render this AI photo, but this is the basic experience. Please treat these templates as a template. So what you can do, since we have on this experience two different templates, one for the AI, one for the photo, it doesn't mean you need to provide both options for your clients. Sometimes you might get a client who will ask you just specific AI experience. So based on one of the sports trading cards, you can just choose one of them. If you don't want to use AI, for example, you can just go into the section up here and then just disable AI from the option. That way, you can have multiple experiences for different clients. I would also recommend for you to, after importing this preset into your account, I will also recommend for you to create event a template. So that way you can have one master template for hockey, for football, for soccer, for anything else, but then you can replicate them and use them for other clients. So even if you want to customize the template slightly or you want to change the name or something, you will have different templates for each event. Let me just go back to my presentation. And there are a few different ways on how to do the physical trading cards. So today we're just going to cover the way how you do the digital part, but just as a quick overview, you have two options. With DMP printers, you have option to purchase 5x7 media, and that way when you printing them, you're basically just printing 3 inches by 3.5 inches, which is the right size for the magnetic card holder. And you also need a glue stick just to stick those pages together, and also paper cutter just to cut in half. So make sure you have a nice front page and the back page. The option 2 is to have 4x6 media. And the way it works is since the size of our trading card is 3 by 3.5 inches, then you can fit it on 4x6 media, but then you'll use die cutter like this to get a perfect cutout and use it for your magnetic card holder. There are different ways, there are different people using different techniques, but this is something I just want to highlight. Yeah, in terms of the Snappic experience, it is already done for you. So all the presets are done. When you get access to them next week, then you can just duplicate them and try to use them for your events. Do you have any questions? Or are there any questions in the chat?
There was, but Danielle's answered them all. Danielle's on it.
Okay. She's real efficient. Thank you so much.
Yes.
If anyone has any direct questions for George, if you want to unmute yourself and ask, that is certainly okay. I have a question for you, George.
Go ahead.
How much would it be cost per unit to make a trading card?
Good question. It all depends on where you're buying those magnetic cards from, or even things like for our shoot, we have the custom stickers. Like you can see on promotion content, where this one says brand name. So it can range from £1 to £4 or £5, depending where you're buying from. But
Okay.
in USA, it will be totally different. So I don't really know the pricings in USA.
Okay.
CJ, do you prefer using 5x7 or 4x6 media?
Personally, I like 5x7 since you're basically just getting print that's ready. You don't need to cut anything. Some people just fold it and just put it into the case, which works fine. Some people like to have really nice edges, so that's where you would use the guillotine, the paper cutter. But it all comes down to your personal preference and also how quickly you want to produce those trading cards. Keep in mind, it's a time-consuming thing, so just keep that in mind when you're selling this experience to your clients.
Graham, with the 3.5 by 5 setting, are you burning the other half of the ribbon?
No.
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 Paul, what is the time frame from the time the trading card is processed to the time it can be printed?
Time varies. So for AI, since you need to wait for the AI to process the image, and you also need to use additional sharing station, that can be somewhere between 2 to 5 minutes. 3 minutes for the whole process of typing the name in, taking a photo, and just waiting for AI to generate it, and then probably another 1 or 2 minutes. Once you do 10, 15 of them, it gets a lot easier and quicker. So you can really squeeze it down once you have everything just aligned properly, and you can have, let's say, when you do the activations, you have the bench with everything in the right place, in the right distance, so you can make it quite efficient.
So do you think on an average you could probably do 25 to 30 per hour, or is that too many?
That's too many. Yeah.
Right. So how many do you think we could do per hour?
If it's one person, I would say 20.
About 20.
Yeah, but if there are some people who've got different experiences, please let us know. But
Yeah,
yeah, if you have more people, it will get definitely easier.
it's also going to make a difference whether or not you're doing the AI or just the picture,
Yeah.
because that cuts out a lot of time there. But even with the AI, I've been able to get about 20 to 25, but you got to have multiple people. You know, you got to have people ready as soon as that prints.
Gotta have a team, Rick.
Yep, got to have a team. I do have a question though, while I got the board. The prompts, are the prompts available so that we can tweak them, or are they canned in there?
Yeah. So we are using the style transfer, and there's example image for all of the outputs. Plus, there are some negative and positive prompts. So you've got access to, once you have access to all the events code, then you can tweak them yourself.
Okay, perfect.
They're all built in. This is just pre-made preset. You can just import into your account, and you're pretty much good to go.
Nice. Thank you.
Derek, is there an option where you can just share part of the card with the individual instead of the full printout?
Not at the moment, no. You'll share the whole digital experience, so front page and the back page at the same time.
That's it.
Okay.
Hey George, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hey, so I was wondering for the 5x7. So you just fold it in half, that's it? You don't cut it?
I've done both. So whatever is easier for you. When you fold it correctly, some people were that I've seen like 3D printed templates where you can just put the paper into the corner and just basically just squeeze as much as you can. So if you're good at that process, you don't really see the edge as much, so you can just fold them. But some people prefer cutting them
You get
Okay, got it. Thank you.
you get a much more polished look when they have been cut, don't you?
Again, this example here, this is the one I folded it. So when you fold it correctly, you don't really see the edge much, but personally, I prefer to cut them.
Yeah. And just in terms of this is a question from me. When someone, say for example, we have this set up at an event, George, and we have one photo booth that is taking the pictures. Could we use multiple printers to keep the line moving? So could we have two stations for trading cards using one booth where someone's getting the picture taken, use, say, for example, a sharing station, or could we link the booth to two printers to be running side by side? Is that possible
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
to speed up the process?
The bottleneck would be the actual tapping in experience, and with AI, you're still limited by the time. So having two printers isn't really saving much time.
Okay.
Having more stations to do the pictures would save you more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having more booths with printers and then stations individually for each.
No, you don't even have to have multiple printers.
The printing process is quite quick. It's
Okay.
anything else. It's before and after that takes quite a lot of time.
You could probably have 5 or 6 stations to one printer
Okay. Excellent.
easily.
CJ's asking, can we revisit Graham's question above to clarify? I know you only use half the paper, but in the US, I thought we don't have the ribbon rewind feature.
Yeah, so basically, I think I guess unless there's a workaround there, you'd only get the 230 5x7 prints on a DNP 620 because you can't, like, you're only using half the paper, but I think if I'm not wrong, you can only use like half of the ribbon for each print. So like you can't go back and reuse that other half of the ribbon that you haven't used. So like when costing it out, I just want to make sure because it would make it'd be double, right?
Yeah.
I will need to do a little bit more research on this. I'm not sure if there's a difference. I know there's a difference between DNP 620A and DNP 620. We have total different the same models, but even the paper isn't compatible. So if we try to import paper from USA, it won't work in our printer. So let me make some research and I'll come back to you on that.
Google it quick, George. Google it.
I would need to speak with a few people probably because Google doesn't really give me proper answer.
Well, I wasn't being serious, George. David says that's correct. The DNP 620 has auto rewind. The DNP 620A does not. There you go.
Sorry, say that again, Sammy.
The DNP 620 has auto rewind. The DNP 620A does not. That's what David says.
Thank you, David.
I guess one other thing to point out, though, that's a benefit would be that if you're using metallic paper, you're saving the metallic paper. You can use a regular 5x7 ribbon, so you're kind of saving costs that way, but you're still throwing out half of the ribbon essentially. You're not getting double the prints out of the ribbon. Just maybe an important distinguish. I can't use what's the word?
Distinction.
Distinction. Thank you.
There you go. Good word.
I have the Neo Enterprise. Sorry, I put my typos in the computer. And it's a perfect cut every time. So we use that for like keychains, and we also use it for keychains, excuse me, and for the trading cards as well. It is $550 though, US dollars.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mimi.
David says Kodak has a copyright on that tech stateside, so David knows a lot. Paul, are both the original and processed trading card photos displayed on the sharing station? If so, should a brand ambassador be assigned for selecting the processed photo for printing? Can you clarify the workflow process, please? It's in the chat, George, if you just want to read it yourself.
I'm reading it now. Yes, so on the sharing station, you would see if you decide to do just photos without AI, you can do it directly from your booth iPad. If you do the AI, then you need to have it linked to your sharing station, where you would see a photo, the raw image, as well as the AI image afterwards. And that sharing station will be linked to your print server, technically. In terms of assigning a branding ambassador, I personally, you can still do it as one person, but if you want to improve the workflow to make the whole process look quicker, definitely. Because it's not the printing, because anyone can do it on a sharing station. Whoever makes these cards, they can just easily go and choose the right photo from the sharing station. It is actual processing or just putting them inside that takes a lot longer.
And that leads us nicely into my part of the presentation, because I am going to talk about the process for the event and how you're actually going to sell this to clients. So any other questions for George, we can pop them in the chat, and I will talk to everyone now just a little bit on how to pitch and sell trading cards to your clients. George, you doing my presentation for me? Thanks. So the first thing about an experience like this is finding the right type of client. This experience is not cheap to do. This experience is not cheap to activate. And this experience is not something that you're going to be rolling out for weddings or parties. This is something that is very high end, very technical, that needs the expertise and the training that you're having today, and will continue to trial and test and run within your business so that you get it perfected before you actually run it for a client. This is a high-end brand activation. So the types of clients that you're going to look for this are high-end brand corporate clients. So where do we find these type of people, and what type of people are you going to be looking for to be able to sell an experience like this? The first place that I would send anyone to that is looking to get into high-end brand activations is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the biggest business-to-business social networking site in the world, and it is free for you to use. And it is full of hundreds of contacts for you to start to network with, to liaise with, to reach out to. So this is where the decision makers are hanging out. It is the social media platform. 15 years ago, it was used to find jobs. Now it is the Facebook of the business world and has so many features, and I could do 6 hours on LinkedIn. So I won't get into that, but I do have a training course on LinkedIn on our site. If anyone is interested in advanced LinkedIn training, you can go and check that out on our Academy site. But this is where the decision makers are hanging out. Brand ambassadors, marketing managers, experimental marketing, production companies, anyone of that high caliber who is out there creating large scale events and activations. In particular for the trading cards, you're going to look for the likes of marketing managers at sports teams or at sports arenas, or even right down to the sales representatives. Because the one thing to remember when you're dealing with corporate clients, a lot of the time they may find a sponsor for this, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. The easiest way to get engagement on LinkedIn is to engage with other people's content, and the LinkedIn algorithm wants you to share content and engage in other people's content. Treat it like an online networking event. Treat it like somewhere where you can go, you can talk to people, you can engage with people, and you can build relationships with people. So engage in people's content before you start to DM them or send personal messages. Don't just turn up on LinkedIn and start dropping messages to people who are potential clients, because that is LinkedIn suicide. You want to engage in content, you want to share your own content, you want to position yourself, and then you want to start conversations with people. But I'll talk a little bit more about that too. The other thing with LinkedIn is it's a really good place for you to share success stories of your own business and show people what your experience is, what you do within your business, and how you can help them. So please make sure that you are utilizing your personal LinkedIn page and trying to post at least twice a week to keep you up there. 1, for people to find you, 2, for people to engage with you, and 3, for LinkedIn to know that you're active. Because the more active you are on LinkedIn, the more features LinkedIn will open up for you and the more opportunity that there will be. The second thing is networking. So you want to go to the right networking events. Companies attend networking events to basically showcase their products or services and to scout out partnerships, to look for people to work alongside. So it's a really good place for you to pitch activations or ideas and show people what it is you can do within your business. Warning, find the right networking events. There will be hundreds of networking events available in your area. You need to find the right ones. You need to find out where these people hang out in your area. So say, for example, in the UK, we have what's called the Chartered Institute of Marketing, the Chartered Institute of PR. We also have PANI, which is like the Promotions Association, where all the advertising managers and production people all hang out. Find those types of networking events. Even though it does not link in any way, shape, or form to you as a photo booth owner, they are your target audience. And you can go to those events and you can become members of those associations. The other great one is Chamber of Commerce in your local area, so that you are starting to mix and mingle with the right business people in your area to get your name out there and position your brand. But find the right ones. And not every networking event is going to be the right networking event, especially for this type of high-end activation. Really, you want to be networking with CEOs, marketing managers, brand managers, and event planners. Those are the people that you need to hunt out and find out what events they're going to and turn up at those events. And don't expect to just go to one event and meet everyone that you need to meet. You need to go to these on a regular basis. You need to be seen in your local area. You need to become the specialist in your local area in order to move to this level in terms of brand activations. And when you attend, bring samples with you or a demo. You know, a lot of people that I coach would say to me, "Oh, I can't do networking events. I don't want to speak one-to-one to people. I get so nervous." You don't need to speak to people. Bring a piece of equipment with you. You know, bring your camera, bring a roamer, have a virtual booth on your phone. And when someone says, "Oh, what do you do?" Well, let me show you. Because then you go into event mode. And in event mode, we're completely different people. And in event mode, it's where we're comfortable. And in event mode, it's where we entertain and it's where we show people the experiences that we do. So don't be afraid to utilize the tools and the software that you have in your business at networking events. The next thing is marketing agencies, especially experimental marketing agencies and PR agencies, which are now doing a lot of the immersive events for PR launches and that type of thing. These people are not nice. I can say this because I was one of those people for 13 years. These people are busy. These people have a lot of pressure on them from clients to deliver something different. So you imagine at one point in my previous life, I was head of PR and marketing for Subway in the UK and Ireland. And I was answerable to every franchisee owner. I was answerable to head office in the US, and everybody wanted something different. But it was my job to come up with ideas and concepts for them for collective marketing activity or for new store openings. It's not an easy job, and that was only one of 22 clients. And when you have to answer to that many people at that level, it is your job to research and deliver the best ideas and best concepts that you possibly can to the client. You have no control over the client saying yes or no. So give agencies a little bit of leeway. I know they're difficult to work with. I know that they can be horrible and nasty. I know that you feel like 90% of the time they're wasting your time, but they feel that too, and they feel that disappointment. If I have spent 10 hours working with Sammy on a concept for my client, and then I take it to the client and they just go, "No, we don't like that." In seconds, you know, that is the game you're in when you're working with brand agencies and you're working at that level. If you win 1 in 10, that's a good result. But how to get in front of them? With the brand agencies, you need to build relationships. You need to research the agencies in your area and you need to start communicating with them. They're always looking for new people to collaborate with and new vendors, because the one thing to remember with a brand agency, a client always wants something new. And you don't always get something new with the people that you have already collaborated with or the vendors that you're working with. So you're always looking for fresh ideas. You're always looking for the next thing, for the latest innovation, and for someone who's going to make your life easy and put it on your desk rather than you having to go looking for it. So you want to get in front of these people and you want to show them that you can help them. You want to pitch your services directly to agencies, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that on the next slide. And then focus on the smaller, when you're starting out, focus on the smaller agencies or mid-size. So that's anyone with 5 employees plus or 5 to 20 would be what I would call a smaller mid-range agency. They're much more likely to partner up with you. The guys that are sitting with over 20 employees in their agencies, and there's only a few of them, usually do this type of stuff in-house or already have someone that works for them, or they work alongside. So look at those smaller agencies. Look at the ones with 5, 10 staff or look at the ones even smaller with 2 staff that are growing, that need partners like us, that have the expertise that can make them look amazing to their clients. The next person that you should be looking for is corporate sponsorship managers. And this is especially for the sports teams. So many companies will allocate a budget for sponsorships every year. And you'll see this at the sports games, where it could be a health company, or it could be a food company, or it could be a drinks company, or someone who sponsors that sports team. It's someone's job to go out and secure those sponsors. And within that sponsorship proposal, they have to show them the types of activity that they're going to do to get them brand awareness and user engagement throughout that sponsorship campaign. They're the person you need to speak to. They're the person at the sports arena that you need to find, and you need to say, I have this really good idea that would be brilliant for your clients and can help you show added value for them and make more money out of your sponsorship. So they're the person that you need to work hand in hand with in order to sell this. So what to do? Approach the sports teams' sponsors. So you can actually go directly to the sponsors of the sports teams. It's all over their shirts. It's all over their websites. It should be everywhere. You should be able to find it very easily. Find out who the sponsor is. Go to LinkedIn and find the marketing or brand manager for that sponsor. Now, if it's a massive, large multinational brand, the chances are it's going to be really difficult to find the person who secured that sponsorship. But start on LinkedIn first and foremost, and just keep tapping away until you find the right person. Then what you want to do is, an example that I have given there is, say for example, it's a wellness brand that's doing an activation at your local football club and is sponsored by a healthcare company. So go to LinkedIn, find the company first and foremost, and then under the company's page on LinkedIn.
Can you do the template now? Just send it to him right now.
Oh. There will be a link on their company page to people, and then you want to find their marketing manager or their sponsorship manager. So these are the types of clients that you want to look for this type of activation. Next page, please, George. How to communicate with these people. Do not send these people emails without having spoken to them, without knowing who they are, and they don't know who you are, because you will never build a relationship with them. First and foremost, you want to research the people who are potential clients or potential partners or collaborators with you. Then you're going to lift the phone and talk to these people. Ideally, you want to set up a meeting. It's not always possible because they may be in a different state or they're incredibly busy, but that is your overall aim, is to get in front of these people, because that is the easiest, quickest way to build a relationship with someone and the easiest way to sell. If it's not possible, try to do a virtual meeting. We're all very used to virtual now. We're all used to hybrid working, where we're all sitting at home and doing meetings, or in person can be quite hard to get. But set up a meeting, whether that is virtual or in person, and then present them a pitch deck with your ideas and the concept that could work for them, making sure that that pitch deck presents what is important to them. So when you lift the phone to them, ask them, what are your objectives this year? What is it that you want to get out of your brand sponsorships or associations this year? What have you done so far? What have you planned? Have you any budgets in mind? Get all of those things out in the open and be very transparent with someone so that you understand what their pain points are. What is it they actually need, so that you can then put that into your pitch deck to make sure that you're giving them the solution to all their problems and making their life easy. Then present the pitch deck, and finally follow up and close. Follow up is always the hardest thing because people don't follow up enough. You also have to remember with corporate clients, it could be months. It could be months from you first research and lift the phone and start talking to someone before you get a meeting with them, or it could be months before someone ever actually communicates back with you. You just have to keep knocking those doors until someone listens and someone answers to you. And it's not easy and it takes time, which is why we charge so much.
Right.
Next. So how to sell and price the experience for trading cards. George, if you click on the sports trading card pitch deck image, this is a sample pitch deck that we would use to pitch to a client. This pitch deck is available under Photobooth Marketing and is completely editable for your own business. So you'll see on the bottom left-hand side where it says brand name, you would be putting your own logo there. So front cover, sports trading cards, and next page, an overview. This is written with our company on it, but what you can do is put an overview in or amend this or update it for your business. So just an introduction of who we are. Next page, George. And then an introduction to the benefits of this type of activation for the client. So straight away, you're telling them this activation can give you brand awareness, audience engagement, content creation, data capture, and social sharing. And those are generally the 5 things that a marketing agency or a production company or events company is looking for their client, or sponsorship, a lot of them. But if a client has told you in their brief when they spoke to you that there's something else that's important to them that you know you can deliver with this, you're going to update this to make sure that it's right for the client. Next page. Then just a short overview of what trading cards are. So why someone would have it. It's not just a photo experience. This is customized. It's collectible keepsake and transforms the event attendees into brand ambassadors, because essentially that's what everyone wants to do. The whole point or purpose of marketing is to make people take action. They want their target audience to take action with or for their brand, and this is a really good way to do it. So just a little outline then of everything that's included in the experience, and then where this is ideal for. So again, I've just given examples in this pitch deck. We would tailor this depending on the client and who we've spoken to. But sports, retail, brand activations, experimental marketing tours, product launches, and pop-ups. Why clients love it, and this is the important bit and where you all have to become marketeers within your business. You need to learn the marketing spiel when you're going to talk to brands or agencies. It's easy to integrate into marketing campaigns. It drives social shares and user-generated content, collects value first-party data, and it makes your client's brand the highlight of every event. And then just a little driver at the bottom to get them to remember to contact you after. Then we move into the actual experience pages. So this is the Snappic video that will be part of the assets pack for Snappic users. And you can use this video on your social media as well as in your pitch deck to give an overview of what the experience is, how it works, and for everyone to see that. George, you can play it. We don't hear the sound. So this video is a great marketing tool for you to also use to sell to your clients. Video works. Everyone loves to see a video. It's quick, it's easy, it grabs attention. And the one thing to remember that with marketing content, it is about grabbing attention, but that's only phase one. You use this to grab someone's attention, and then you're using the pitch deck to actually educate them properly on the experience and why they need it in their business. So the great thing is, as part of the Snap Pack, you will get access to the video and also images as well to use in your marketing.
Will be unbranded, CJ, yeah.
And then we move into the actual experiences. Now, there's a lot of pages in this because there's a lot of experiences. But what you would do with this editable pitch deck, for example, if you're going to pitch to a client that is a football team, you're just going to use the football pages and you're going to delete everything else out of it. So I'll let George quickly flick through because there's a lot of pages. We'll keep to one, George, so that we can show everyone what each of them. So there's a layout for each experience, and then it just shows the start screen, the trading card, the digital sharing, and the card encased so that the client can actually see the process and the steps. And there is slides for each of the experiences. And then we move into the investment and actually costing out the job. So I've tried to keep this table as simplistic as possible so that everyone can see why a job like this would be starting at $10,000. First of all, you have all the pre-event work that goes in. Even though every one of you is being given access to this event and to the assets for this event, your client doesn't know that. Your client does not know the 60 hours of work that went in to create this event because it has been given to you as part of the software. You have to be paid for that for every job. So the first thing that would happen with a job or project, do not charge by the hour for this experience. That is where you will absolutely cripple yourself in your business. This is a project, and the project starts from the minute you start talking to the client, and you have to be paid for your time, and you have to be paid for every element that goes into the project. So pre-event, you are looking at branding and visual elements. So actually creating the digital branded concepts for the client and branding them for their business. A lot of the time what you're going to find is, even with these event concepts, they might want you to change colors. They're going to want you to add brands. So there's going to be additional work that may go in. Then software development and infrastructure. Again, the client does not know that you have been given access to this. But if you were doing this within your own business and having to go into Snappic and set this up as a new event, you have to look at the software, you have to look at the secure cloud setup and the interface design. Then testing, setting up the experience, testing that and getting approval from the client. Then staffing, making sure that you're briefing. I've put in for this job, and you'll see later why, 2 professional brand ambassadors and a pre-event run through. Then event management, so liaising with the venue for access and doing your health and safety checks and sending insurance documents and all of that admin that goes in. And so there has to be a fee for this pre-event. And I've put that in at 3,500. Then at the actual event, so your transport and logistics, delivery of 2 branded booths, promotional table, trading card station, and set up to 150 card holders for the installation act, and you'd put in the location, the install setup of the trading card experience, booth and guest stations, testing, so on-site testing and approval, then briefing with the team, so 2 professional event ambassadors, technical support, so a professional event manager and technical support on site, and then the activation live from 3 to 7 p.m. So this would be a half-day activation using 2 booths to make sure that you have enough booths to actually create 150 trading cards over the 4-hour period. Then you have your post-event, so activation logistics, so breakdown and strip out, and then your post-event report, sharing that secure data with the client and the content, and a fee for that. So with this costing, you'll see when you start to break it down and look at it, this is not a turn a photo booth on. And when you start to break it down into a project and all the elements that go into a project, there's nothing here that a client can come and say, oh, well, can you take that out and reduce the cost? No, because everything that is on this page has to happen. And everything that's on this page happens for most of our corporate events. And too many of us don't charge properly for it. But this one in particular is going to have a lot of overheads that go with it. You're going to have to look at the type of printer you have. You have to look at the type of media you're using. You have to look at having the little cases for the cards. Do you have a card cutter? What way are you going to do it? And all of those costs have to come in first and foremost before you start to even cost this for a client. This is just a guide. And you also have to know what your baseline pricing is for your hourly rate, for your experience as the project manager, to make sure that it is profitable. Next page, George. Contact us page, that again you would put your own information into and your own brand. And then a final page where you would put the brands that you have worked with that show your experience, that people can then say, oh, these are the guys that I need to be working with. Thank you, George. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Matt, do you know when the pitch deck will be available?
That pitch deck will be on our site tomorrow morning.
Hi, Ursula.
Hi.
Um, I'm just going to ask, how will you go about these? Like, say you're in a small community, like where I am, we're not that big, but hockey is a game that is being played like well, they're gonna start the competition now to all summer. They have high school students, they have the big teams, and everybody plays it. And if I'm thinking of going to look for the sponsorships or whoever sponsored the teams and trying to pitch this to them, will I be able to be doing it per game, or if they come to me and say, oh, they probably want my booth to be there all games for all the season, is there how will I go about that? Because I can't do it by game, but if they come and they like it, but they want it to be there all games for all season, then that is different from a 4 hours one time. So how will I go about that?
Well, what makes you think it's different?
Because maybe they have in a day, maybe they have about 3-4 games.
Yeah.
Right. And the players are there. They're maybe their mom or their dad that comes with them. They're there. They watched it, and all of them want to use it. That's first game, right? And the next game is maybe next 2 days. And if I've gone to this for sponsorship and I say, oh, okay, maybe that first day, it's just saying it's 5,000, and would they be coming to say, oh, they'll be paying for 5,000 every day I go there, or will I just say, oh, for this season, or I'll be putting it down for the whole season, and you can just pay me 20,000 or 30,000 for a season, something like that.
Okay, so there's 2 ways you could approach that. The first thing is, if it is per event and you're going to have different sponsors, the same amount of work is going to go in, so you have to charge the same price per event. If it is one sponsor where you're only having to create one concept initially, then it would be that initial concept fee, and then you would have an event rental fee. You could look at either a short-term lease or a long-term lease with them, but you have to look at the most cost-effective way to do that in your business. What I would usually recommend is that you map out how much is this going to cost me to do, and how much profit do I want to make from it. So say, for example, we have the Ireland rugby team, and the Ireland rugby team want us to do a full campaign for them for the season. They have 13 home matches, and they want the booth to be at all 13 matches. So we would do our costing as the outline for how much is it going to cost us in terms of time for us to set up the initial concepts and to put that into the software and do the testing and get the approval. So there would be a fee for that. And then there would be a per event fee, which would be, so that middle, George, if you just bring up the costing sheet again.
Okay.
Thank you. So this pre-event stuff would only have to happen once. So that price would be a static price. But this event fee will happen for every event. So this would remain the same. And so they would be charged 13 times this price. The only way to make it more cost effective for them is if they are using their own brand ambassadors, or they look at a longer term install where we actually buy a booth and install it in the venue for them. And then you would look at pricing for that. That would be slightly different. And then you would have to decide whether the post-event reports are going to be for one event or at the end of the entire campaign.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ursula,
Yeah. Is
I
that
do not understand the difference between the pre-event and event. I was listening to you going over it, but explain again the difference between the pre-event and the event. Well, can you just put that all in one?
So the pre-event is everything that you have to do in order to make that job work before you leave the house to go and run your job. So Cynthia, before, if I book you today for, even, let's make this even more simple. I book you today for a gala next Saturday. You have all the things to do to set up that event in your software and to get my approval before you turn up to run the event. You have to charge for your time for that.
Okay, I see now.
So, and if you read it, so that's where you're doing your branding and visual elements, that's where you're doing your software development, that's where you're doing your testing, that's where you're getting your staff arranged and briefing them, and that's where you're doing the event management and liaising with the client or with the venue. You have to charge for that. And then this cost, the 5,000, which is in the middle, is your actual cost for that day. So that's paying your staff, that's your actual equipment being out of the business and what the rental fees are for that, and any hard physical things that you have to buy to run that job.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Kelani, did you have a question? You have your hand up.
Yeah, I'm good. I think you answered my question because I do have a client asking for a seasonal for the season. So I was curious on that, how to quote them on a season. So thank you.
Excellent.
Johnny's asking Ursula, any thoughts on pricing in London, south of England?
Well, I'm going to tell you now, we priced this for a trade show for London and it was 10 grand for 2 days.
Stop sharing, George.
Which is about $15,000 for anyone who's in the States. But yeah, this is not easy to do, and this is not cheap to do, and there is only professionals that can do it properly. Charge for your expertise.
I have a question, please.
Go, Nadesh.
I'm trying to understand with the different sizes, how do you use the cutter? Because in the first example with the 5x7, George went over, us folding the card.
Yeah.
And then for the other one, I guess we can just pay for the one that's already have the line in the middle. So I don't understand what would we use the cutter for?
There are two kind of cutters. So in one of my examples where we use 5x7 media, you basically have page that's 3.5 by 3 inches. So basically you're making that half. On the other example, we're using die cutter, which is a different thing. You need to cut 4x6 media into 3.5 by 3 inches size, and that's where you would use a die cutter.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's 4x6. Never mind. Thank you.
Yeah, so when using 4x6, that's where you will need to use technically both cutters to make that happen.
Okay, got it.
This will
Thank
give
you.
you just peace of mind if you can't get 5x7 media, or you don't have the right print to do it, but you know you can do 4x6. That's just an option.
Okay, makes sense. Because in my head I had 3x6. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, George, question for you. I actually talk about printers. So you saying RX1 or 820 wouldn't do these? Or if I'm gonna use an RX1, I can just use a 5x7 media or 4x6.
I haven't used RX1 for this one. I know RX1 can do 4x6. If there's someone who uses RX1 5x7, please let me know. I'm pretty sure they are very similar, so you should be able to. I'm Googling it now, and I can see RX1 has 5x7 media as well, so you can use that too.
George,
Yeah.
it's Cynthia. I'm one of the ones that used the RX1. I just put the 5x7 media in it. However, if you are going to use the 5x7, you just have to make sure you use your spacers so it fits the RX1.
Yeah, that's a good note, because we had the same issue. We bin those fillers, the plastic fillers, and we need to get the new ones.
Yeah, I threw them out. I trashed them. George was like, "Where are these?" I was like, "George, I don't know. I never seen them."
I did too, Sammy. So I had to buy new ones, and they were $30, I think it was.
Yeah, I took them out. I was like, "We're never going to need these."
Yeah.
Ben.
There's a small heads up. So I was talking to one of the technicians from DMP, and he mentioned something. If you use a 5x7 media for quite often, and then going back to 4x6 media can cause some problems with a line in the middle, because you're cutting the media differently. I talked to many people and they haven't seen the problem, but also these guys from DMP are going through a lot many printers, so this might happen when you're using a DMP 620 for many events with 5x7 media. Then you might want to allocate one specifically for trading cards and one just doing 4x6. So just a quick heads up.
Did you say that was for both the 620 and RX, or just 620?
Pretty much the same, because they're using similar technology where you're cutting the paper differently. So if you would use, if basically you're cutting 5x7 media and then you go back to 4x6, there'll be kind of misalignment. Not only you need to have those plastic fillers in the middle, but also the paper is cut differently. So you would see actual lines on 4x6 media. Again, this was just a heads up from technician from DMP, so just want to be aware.
Wow. So it's just good to have different printers associated. Okay, if you're doing 4x6, this is a printer doing 4x6, it's just gonna do 4x6 forever. Because if they're giving off this heads up from them, I think it should be something they need to fix. But I could imagine maybe the camera head has just been program, or it thinks it's doing 4x6 all the time and it's going to 5x7. It happens in humans as well. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the heads up. Yep.
George, really quick. So we do have dedicated printers, one for 5x7 prints or media and one for 4x6 media. My question for you is for the 5x7, we print both trading card size, the 3.5x5, as well as 5x7s. Would that be an issue?
No.
Okay.
Because the way how you're still using the same media, but the way how the ink, the film is applied to the media, that's where you can find a misalignment. So when you're using 5x7 media, or even if you cut it in half, it's the same way as when using 4x6 as a strips. You're just cutting the media in half, but in terms of the size of the ink, which is important, that's where you're seeing the misalignment. You can see the lines in the middle.
Got it. Okay.
Does anyone have any final questions?
You nailed it, Ursula. No questions.
Well, we as a team are very excited about the new partnership with Snappic and the Snappack training. There's more to come on a monthly basis, so keep an eye out for that. As Danielle had said at the start of the call, this one is available for all monthly or annual subscriptions with Snappic. But moving forward, it will be for enterprise users and Enterprise Plus. Is that correct, Danielle? Correct me if I'm wrong.
So yes, the Snapback training will only be for enterprise users that are on a monthly or yearly package, but the community portal will be open to users for the pro and enterprise users that are on monthly and yearly packages.
And the community portal is being launched shortly, but I think the people on this call might get some early access to it to give some feedback.
That is correct. They will get early access to it. So I'm not sure what time it will be released for everyone on this call, but they will soon see on the Snappic dashboard at the top, there will be a community tab for you guys to go and view it.
And we've had a little sneak peek, and there is lots of resources in there. There's lots of free resources. There's lots of information. It's a great place where everything that was available in Snappic has all been put together in nice little collections, easy to use, easy to find, and easy to navigate for everyone. And so when you log into your Snappic account, you're going to find that community button and enjoy all the great things that are coming. Thank you everyone for joining us.
One more question. You said at the beginning, I think Danielle or someone, you would post the code.
That was for the event code. If you guys can just give them the code again for the event.
George, do you want to put the code into the chat for everyone to take?
The event codes, they'll be in the community. I believe tomorrow.
Is the event code going into the community?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now we don't have them created, so they'll go inside the community, and I think that will be inside the free section.
Yes.
Free asset.
Under the free asset section in the new community portal, which you will all get access to.
Yes.
So
we don't. Who gets early access, we will definitely contact you guys and give you guys the correct free assets and everything like that.
George.
Yeah.
Sorry. If I understand that, so for this experience, there's an event code. So we don't do it like the one we normally do from the pitch deck that we'll put our email and they upload it onto our profile.
Not anymore.
Different.
No. So if you receive once you get access to these event codes, on the beginning of this call, I showed you how to import them to your account. So it is literally just add the code into your account, hit import, and then they'll be inside your account within a few seconds.
Okay, I'll probably come back to you on that when I'm logged onto my system. All right. Okay.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Perfect. And for anyone that does have further questions for me and the team, you're always more than welcome to reach out to us. Anyone who wants access to the editable pitch deck, it will be available from tomorrow under photoboothmarketing.com for any of our members. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Misty. Bye, Misty.
Bye, Sammy.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bye,
Hema.
Emma.
Bye, Eka. No, let's not do this. That's too many people.
Bye, Misty.
Bye,
Good night.
Emma.
All right,
Bye, Sammy.
I'm ending the call. Bye.
Bye, Sammy.
See ya.